In addition to being led out of their cells for daily exercise and meals, many inmates at Tangerang Prison in Jakarta are also participating in conflict resolution training. The program, developed by the international organization Search for Common Ground, examines the causes and consequences of violent behavior. Search for Common Ground's August Narowi says they also use games to emphasize how they can achieve their goals through cooperation and collaboration.
So we teach them and we train them how to make a switch from destructive behavior to the constructive behavior.
One inmate, Eddie Pernanan, who is in prison for what he says were charges related to child protection, says the training is helping all of them deal with their anger.
After the training, our minds were open to thinking about how to deal with problems without violence.
The new emphasis on this training comes after Indonesian security forces discovered that a new terrorist organization was using prisons to recruit new members and plan operations. Most of the prisoners here come from a background of poverty. Security analyst Sidney Jones with the International Crisis Group says members of this group are vulnerable for recruitment by terrorist organizations.
We have a number of young prisoners who joined up in a radical movement out of a kind of sense of idealism, that they were doing something active to defend fellow Muslims in other countries or indeed at home.
The training is part of an effort to counter the influence of radical Islamist leaders in prisons. In the prison mosque, moderate Muslim clerics provide religious guidance, emphasizing, they say, Islam's message of peace. The prison also offers inmates training for jobs in the garment industry, food service, and a variety of vocations. Punto Hartinto, the head of development at Tangerang Prison, says these voluntary programs are helping inmates who want to change, but the hardcore radicals have refused to participate.
It is not easy to change people with strong beliefs in things related to terrorism.
Those people, Jones says, need to be separated from the other inmates and contact with the outside world restricted.
Well, the easiest thing would be to ensure that prisoners don't have access to cell phones. Cell phones are the most critical element of communication and planning and so on.
She says programs to rehabilitate prisoners are important, but without also isolating radical leaders, prisons will continue to be a center for terrorist recruitment and planning. Brian Padden, VOA News, Jakarta.